Hello, my name is Jack Drury. I'm the Artist Relations Manager at Sennheiser, and it's a pleasure to be here at PLASA today and introduce the SR20A IEM Amplifier to you now. So, some details about the IEM Amplifier. The best way to describe it is to describe the challenges that we face that led us to develop this piece of hardware. And it all spires from the fact that arenas and stadiums are obviously massive places to perform, huge stages, big long cable runs, lots of opportunity for artists to move about, especially now that the majority of the time your artists aren't fixed in one place due to wedge monitors. They're using IEM systems, they're using radio mics, so they are moving about all over the place. And if you've got a particularly dynamic performer, like a Chris Martin of Coldplay, for example, who's going to be in many different places across the night without much choreography as to where that happens, it's very much in the moment. Trying to run an IEM system reliably over a space that large becomes quite a challenge. And there are a couple of ways in the past that this has been dealt with. One way, of course, that you could do is just flood the entire stage with RF. The downside of that, of course, is when you're too close to your transmitter, you can run into the danger of overloading your IEM receiver. And when you move too far away, then you can have exactly the opposite effect and start getting dropouts. So you need to be able to dynamically move that RF about. And one of our fantastic engineers, Mr. Tim Sherratt, who heads up our CDAE team, came up with this concept for an IEM amplifier that you would be able to do this with. So this is the SR20A. Essentially, it is a very linear, very clean amplifier. You can put it at the start of your cable run or at the end of your cable run, of your coax run, and use that to boost before your amplifier or afterwards. And then what it gives you is a completely clean RF signal out of your antenna in the first place. The second thing that it does that is very clever is you can array several of these amplifiers together and then remote control how they operate. So you can have a system with a few antennas, one that's going to go far to the end of the stage, one that's going to be relatively close, and then you can dynamically, during the performance, move that RF power about. So if your performer runs to the other end of the stage, you're using the higher powered antenna. When they are closer, you're using the lower powered antenna. If there's a B stage, which is obviously a massive thing at the moment, then you can have a B stage antenna that comes on for those specific numbers. And that can either be done live on the fly with any kind of MIDI based controller, or you can automate it into a desk or a show file or a sequence. Anything that will output MIDI will allow you to do. This has been out on 2 shows so far. It was developed for Coldplay for their stadium tour because Chris Martin is just such a dynamic performer, and the RF tech needed a method of being able to track his movement in real time. The second show that this has done is Adele, and that was a bit more of a static performance, but still big stages. It was all done in the rounds, so a huge amount of space to cover. And this particular amplifier was just so key in making sure that whether she's on B stage or A stage moving about, she's got a good in-ear mix, and it's clean, and the RF is reliable and it's good. And that is the product in essence. It is manufactured in our small scale plant in Germany. As I said, developed by Tim Sherratt and the CDAE team. Vincent Thurkamp built the amplifier for it. Andy Lillywhite also had some input in the product as well. So there's an awful lot of technical expertise behind it. And the fantastic thing about working for a company like Sennheiser is that we do have the engineering capacity in-house at hand to develop this kind of equipment as the needs come up and as the demand is driven by the industry. So that is the product in essence. It's been a pleasure to be able to present it today. If you want any more information, do visit the Sennheiser website or contact us directly as you see fit.